Malolo sui fua talo falava, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, John, for that introduction and for the invitation to speak and put this event on. I'd like to acknowledge Catherine Lab. Oh, where are you, Catherine? I'd like to acknowledge Catherine for the hard work that she has had to do to put this event together within the various lockdown levels that we've had. I think we've had 2 postponements, Catherine. I think Catherine asked me the last date we postponed was the option was for us to go online and to do this sort of via a Zoom format. And I said to Catherine, could we just please wait a little bit longer to see if we can get to a level where we can actually get together like this in person, together in a room, because I was over Zoom. I was just over Zoom. And I actually think the most important part of these networking events is actually not the speakers up the front, although we have some wonderful speakers tonight. It is actually the connections that we make with each other. And I hope that you would take this opportunity to mingle and actually get to know each other and hopefully make times to meet and connect and make coffee. That is actually the gold of these types of events. And so I put a challenge to all of you women to make sure that you don't leave this room tonight without at least making connection with 5 other women. Because one of the things that we don't do very well in is networking. And networking to the point where we can add value to someone else or they can add value to you. And so a number of women I've spoken to already have had us doing startups or have these ideas in the pipeline, hidden away, they don't want anyone to know. And actually, I can guarantee if there are 3 things that you need help with, there will be someone in this room that can help you, or if not, they will know someone. And so use these opportunities and stop being shy. I can say that because I'm actually a very shy person myself. So I'm just going to talk, I'm going to keep mine quite short because I want to get on to our speakers tonight. So I'm talking about the economy of women, empowerment and enterprise, a Pacific perspective. Why am I so passionate about this space, about women as entrepreneurs, about women in business? It is because women actually drive the economy. Women make 80% of the daily consumer spending decisions. And you will know in your households, it is the woman that decides what the family is going to eat. It is the woman that decides whether they need a new fridge, whether you need a new couch. It is the woman that decides what clothing comes into the house. It is the woman that decides, makes decisions around health and education. And if they are not spending the money themselves, they are the influencers. And so if you influence the woman, you've got everybody captured. And so women drive the economy. It is those decisions that you, your mothers, your sisters make every single day that drives the economy. It sets off that supply chain. That couch has set off and driven decisions and a supply chain and creates jobs and opportunities. And yet, we are not driving and leading the businesses. Who better to sell to women than other women? Because we understand each other. We speak each other's language. We know what's important to us. We know what our priorities are in our home and our families. It is all about our families and our communities and their well-being. Because we know that, we can drive that message, which is just called marketing, and have that connection. And we do that through telling stories. So this is what I call the economy of women. And it is powerful, and we absolutely, as Pacifica women, can tap into it. Very recently, and I know there are some women here, I did an Enterprising Women series online, and it really came about because we had to go back into level 3. And I was getting a little bit over the constant stream of COVID, of having to count cases, of job losses, a lot of negativity and anxiety. And I wanted to put something out that was positive and inspirational, and something that really I'm really passionate about, which is actually women in business, enterprising women, our own stories. And so what was meant to be just a couple of online Facebook Lives, and I tapped some women to say, would you do this? And they immediately went, no. Why? I'm not an enterprising woman. I said, yes, you are. So I just started off with 2 or 3 was initially, and then it ended up being 16 over a period of about 3 or 4 weeks. And in that period was 66,000 views tuning in to these live conversations. And, I was thinking, why are these so popular? What is it about this particular format and the stories? It's because they were our stories. I could relate to every single one of these women. When they were giving a story about when they were 10, I could relate to it. When they were talking about some of the challenges they had at school or university, I could relate to it. Some of the challenges around family, I could relate to it. Family and faith. These were our stories. And so when these women talked about their stories, their life, the trials and tribulations, their aspirations, their achievements, that's what everybody could relate to, because they are our stories. That is our currency. Call it cultural currency, our Pacific currency. It is the dreams and the aspirations. And underlying that, just being open about how hard it can be from different aspects. They were just very free and frank. Women just talking. And that is why it was really, really popular. And I just want to thank, and I know there are some women here that were very brave to, when I asked them to come on and do this with me, these are just some of them, to come and talk and share, and I thank you. And the other thing that I discovered during this is that we as Pacific women really undersell ourselves. They talk and talk and talk, and I ask them some questions, then they say something, and I say, hang on a minute, can you just pull that back? What did you do? Oh, I led this thing, And this is the thing, we don't promote some of those things, those achievements that we've done, that we've achieved. And we do have to reconcile as Pacifica, because one of the things that's important to our culture is humility. That we don't shout from the rooftop about some of the things that we've done or achievements, because we like to keep it on the down low. So, humility and respect is important to us. So it's important to us as Pacifica. So how do we reconcile that important element, those important traits of us as Pacific women, and yet also reconcile that with wanting to succeed in business or whatever other endeavors that you want to do? And I think the way we reconcile that is by simply telling our stories. because by sharing your stories, those achievements come through in such a dignified and inspirational way, which is really, really beautiful. And so I'd like to thank some of those women that were in here in this room tonight who shared this. And there are hundreds of these women. These are our sisters, daughters, mothers who have done such great things in their lives. And they are influential in our families and our communities. And we need to promote and value that, and value ourselves and the contributions that we make, not just in our families, but in our communities, within our churches, within the other organisations, the community work that we do. And so in terms of telling our story, as you know, my sisters and I started MENA. And, you know, we've used our story as the equity in our business. And this is our story. First of all, MENA is our mother. That's her name. She is the inspiration. She's what started our business. And this is a photo of my mother. My mother's on the far side, MENA, with her mother, my grandmother, Agnes. And my mother had made those outfits for them to have this photo done. And I think they were getting photos done for their passport to come to New Zealand. And so this is actually our story. Because my mother learnt to sew at a Catholic boarding school in Samoa when she was very young. She was taught by the nuns. And before long, everybody knew that MENA was the best sewer, and all the other girls would give their dresses, their fabric for her to make their garments. And so that was the talent. Mum says it was a God-given talent that she had, which enabled her to work from home, to be at home with her children, and to help provide for her family. And this is her legacy. So I want to leave it there because I think there's so much that's going to be shared through the night with Hannah and Mary Owe. But I just want to reiterate that the currency within you individually is strong. When you join it all together, it is bigger. It is so, so powerful. So use these opportunities to rock on up to someone else and make those connections. And they can be friendships as well. So I urge you to do that. And I would like to thank you, John and PCF, for providing this forum for our Pacifica women. Thank you.